Hello, my name is Kiriath, and today we are going to talk about finally getting that stupid project that you've had in your head off the ground and just going for it. And that's largely because that's exactly what I'm doing right now, pretty much. So, before we go any further, let me just quickly clarify, because I can hear the furious typing, the sound of fingers hitting keys as I record. I haven't abandoned Emperor's Children in any way, shape or form. That is quite a long form project because it requires all the kit bashing in the world and lots of hunting around for specific parts and stuff. And in fact, this week we're going to do a live stream where we will put together some Chosen from Emperor's Children using some Custodes as base, obviously, because it's delightful heresy and they look fancy as hell. We're going to use the weapons from Conversion World to make some fancy Chosen for my Emperor's Children. As it stands, I'm kind of waiting to see what to do for troops. I was going to do Primaris with some chaosy additions, but I really like the way that the Chaos Space Marines out of Blackstone Fortress look, and if we're getting a box of those, then I would be more happy kit bashing something out of that as a base, as opposed to using Primaris as the foundation for the troops for my Emperor's Children. So there's sort of things to consider before I just start putting models together, and I'm kind of planning stuff out. I need to work out what to do for Possessed, because they're going to be snake men, because that's the best way to do it. So yeah, it's a longer project. It's not going anywhere. I'm still working on it. It's all fine. I'm not swamping myself with projects. Now, have you ever sat there and thought to yourself, I would really like an army of X, whatever unit it is, and you've thought to yourself, but that would be stupid. That wouldn't work. That would be daft. It wouldn't work on the tabletop. It wouldn't be efficient. It wouldn't be, it would just be a silly army. Just full on silly. Not even practical. It wouldn't even perform well. It would just be daft for the sake of being daft. I can't possibly do that. Have you ever had that thought? I would hope that at least one of you has, because otherwise, you gotta push the boat out occasionally. Be a bit daft. I've had for a while now an army idea that I was never really going to go for, because it's silly and it's most likely not going to work at all. Like on the tabletop, it will most likely be garbage, and it's based entirely around the Redemptor Dreadnought. See, I quite like the Redemptor Dreadnought. I was kind of ambivalent about it when it was first revealed. It was like, okay, I can get on board with that. That was kind of cool. There were bits I liked, bits I didn't like. It looked a bit chunky. I mean, it's got some chunk. It's got some girth. The Redemptor Dreadnought. It's a chunky lad. And I wasn't entirely sure whether I was sold on them or not, but over time they've just grown on me. I really like how kind of beefy and I don't know what it is about them. They just have a certain stature that I really like, and of course they've got a Gatling cannon on them, and you can take 2 Gatling cannons on them. And really, what more do you want from a big stompy robot? I'd never really felt the urge to do a full knight army, although I had considered it. It was just one of those things where it was like, do I really want to invest that much time? Do I want to put together that many knights? I enjoy it, but would I eventually find myself not enjoying it, because they are quite fiddly? All the time in the back of my head, I was like, to be honest, an army just of dreadnoughts would be kind of fun. It would be interesting. It would be a cool thing to do. I don't think it'd be very good in terms of performance, but it would be fun. And I just kind of put it off, and then I saw something on Twitter, and this is an army I've seen before, but it kind of spurred me into action. It's an Imperial Guard army by a guy called Vincent Notley, who has an amazing Imperial Guard army that I absolutely love, because it's all tanks, and the most important thing about it is that he took an idea and he ran with it. The incarnation that I saw him post a picture of most recently was, I believe, 3 Lehman Russ tanks. It was 4 either Wyvern or Hydras. I can't remember which one it is. The one with the shorter, like mortar type gun. I think that's the Wyvern, not the Hydra. And the most important part of the army, the focus point of the army, the point of the army, 7 death strikes. Because just because I think is the reason for that, and I absolutely love it. Like, this is an army he's taken to a tournament, and by all accounts, the general reaction was, "Is that all death strikes? What the hell is that? That's amazing." It's not gonna win many games. That 7 death strikes is not a guaranteed victory every time. Let's be honest, but it is just a fun, like, interesting, daft idea that he wanted to do, and he did it. And it pushed me over the edge. It spurred me on. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to stop trying to prevent myself from doing my Redemptor force, and I'm going to actually make it. I'm just going to go ahead and make a Redemptor army. So the first 3 Redemptors have arrived. You can see there. I mean, you can clearly see their Redemptors. I don't know why I'm showing you. So the first 3 have arrived. These are easy to build ones. Now, the actual build itself will be 9 Redemptors total. 2 Techmarines for the HQ slots, for 2 Vanguard detachments. And what I'm intending to do is essentially have a few Redemptors that have a dedicated loadout, which will be double Onslaught Gatling Cannons, 1 heavy, 1 normal. The easy to build ones will obviously have to have the Onslaught Gatling Cannons because that's what they come with. But I will do a little bit of converting / kit bashing to turn the heavy flamers into Gatling Cannons as well. I'll probably end up with 4 of the easy to build ones just because they're a lot cheaper. They're like, from Element Games, these were like 20 quid each, which is not bad for a model of this size. And there'll be 4 that will just be dedicated, Onslaught Gatling Cannons. The rest will be full fat Redemptors with all the options, which at the moment, to be honest, I'm looking at, more than anything, I'm kind of looking at finding ones that have come out of things like Tooth and Claw, because they seem to go a lot cheaper. And those will be magnetised, so I can switch between the Plasma Incinerator and the Onslaught Gatling Cannon. All of them are going to have the smaller Gatling Cannon under the fist. Not that I have anything against heavy flamers, but I like it more. That's literally it. That's the only reason behind it. The Techmarines, I'm very, very tempted to just stick conversion beamers on. Not particularly because that would be the best build for them, because it most likely wouldn't be, but I just kind of want to, and I would have a lot of fun, like kit bashing a conversion beamer for both of them. So yeah, the current plan is, I believe it's 9 Redemptors, so 4 static loadout, 5 with magnetised loadout, 2 Techmarines to act as the HQ for the 2 Vanguard detachments, which I believe would give me a grand total of 2 command points, if that. I can't even remember. I think it's not a lot, and of course that'll lead to about 2,000 points. So the Redemptors are about 200 points each. So for 9 of them and then 2 HQs, it's just shy of 2,000 points. So that is the side project currently. I'm going to start it today. I'm most likely going to record putting together a couple of these dreadnoughts today. And yeah, if you have that stupid idea, I'm just going to say now, it's never going to win anything. It's not a good list, obviously. It's a stupid list. I've got no transport for them. I haven't taken any drop pods or anything. There's nothing like that. No, they're foot slogging it all the way, just blasting things with their Gatling cannons. That is literally the whole thing. And maybe they might get into close combat, maybe they'll just all get wiped out and I'll be tabled in 2 turns anytime I use the army. But it doesn't really matter, because what I want is a table full of stompy robots, and what I'm going to end up with is a table full of stompy robots. An equivalent list of Imperial Knights wouldn't have anywhere near the numbers. 9 stompy robots is better than 5 stompy robots by far. So that's what we're going with. I'm already trying to work out, I'm trying to get it done as quickly as possible, because it's something that I would quite like to take my stupid Redemptor army to Warhammer World and have a few games with various people from the community, and they can either bring their own silly lists or just bring something that's going to beat the shit out of it, which won't be difficult. So yeah, the kind of idea behind the army, because everything needs to have a bit of a theme, I feel, if you're going to do it justice, if you're going to do it properly, is that these are Redemptors that are early versions. Cole is quite the progress-focused individual, and when designing things like this, I figure there's a good chance that there'll be some early guys who are kind of left in the dust a bit. So the earlier Redemptors that maybe had a few flaws, or perhaps were forgotten at the end of battle, or were deemed destroyed when actually they could be salvaged, almost the lost and the damned of Redemptor dreadnoughts, have been taken in by a couple of well-meaning Techmarines who are verging very heavily on extreme heresy, because they're willing to repair the Redemptors with stuff from, well, anything really. That's the beauty of it. I've got some some, I've forgotten the name of it, Nemesis Dreadnought parts. How do you forget the name of the Nemesis Dreadnought? The baby carrier. I've got some Nemesis Dreadnought parts that are going to be used in place of like arms or legs. I've got some Necron stuff lying around that I'm quite looking forward to using to make one of them look a little bit Xenos infected, which should be fun. I've got some of the Citadel skulls on the way because one of them is going to have a nice obsession with collecting the skulls of their enemies and having them attached to the sarcophagus at the front. I've got quite a few ideas, quite a few things I'm going to do with these guys, and at the end of it, there'll be 9 of them. There'll be 2 sort of shepherds of the army who are probably going to look like heretical as fuck, but who cares? It'll look great. That's the current plan for the side project. The Redemptor army, 2,000 points worth of Space Marine Redemptor dreadnoughts. Because why the fuck not? Why not? Why not do it? Why not just go for it? It might not be great, it might be terrible, it might lose every time. But does that actually matter if you're having fun playing it? Does it matter if you're having fun making it? I would argue, who cares? Who cares? You don't need to win every time. You don't even need to win, well, half the time, a quarter of the time. As long as you're having a laugh whilst you're doing it, that's the most important part for me. So, yeah, that's the side project. The Emperor's Children, still chugging along nicely. But it's time to bring 9 Redemptors onto the tabletop at a time and see what happens. And that's what I'm going to do. Thank you very much for watching. Feel free to click any of the things, Patreon, subscribe videos, all that stuff. Click it if you like. Don't click if you don't want to. And I will see you for the next one. Toodaloo.